Let's talk Tanya for the 24th of Nisan of a leap year. In the last days, we're talking about how to arrive at a Yiras Hashem, an awe for God, contemplating God's presence and how God is watching us. But the simple question is, I can't see God. So all of these things are theoretical, abstract, and is it really possible for me to have this awe and reverence for an entity that I can't see? Alter Rebbe says absolutely yes. And Alter Rebbe gives an example of a king. Okay, today it's hard for us to relate to a king, but try to imagine in ancient times, a person standing before a king. Imagine the person overcome with awe, with reverence, with dread, because standing in the presence of this great king. Now, what do you fear when you see a king? Is it the body that you fear? It's not the body that you fear. Proof being that if the king were sleeping and you were in front of the king, you wouldn't feel any fear. Okay, if you were to feel fear, it's because you're scared that maybe he's going to wake up at any moment. But the sleeping king in and of himself does not inspire any fear, awe, reverence. And why is that? Because what you really are having the awe and reverence for is the energy, the life force, the neshama, the soul of the king. Nevertheless, when you see the king, you see the body of the king, so you tremble. And why is that? Because when you see the body of the king, you see the life force. You don't see it with your physical eyes, but you sense it. The body tells you that there is a soul over there. What if we could look around at the entire world, the sun, the moon, the stars, planet Earth, everything within it, every object that exists, every phenomenon, every event, everything, and realize these are all but the garments of God. These are all but the body of God. And then when we say we can't see God, yeah, we can't see God, but just like we can't see also the soul of the king, and nevertheless, when you see the king, you tremble because you see the body. But what if we can see that? And that is what Alter Rebbe says Emunah is all about. The word Emunah comes from the word omein, which means to train. Training ourselves that whatever we see, wherever we look, we're seeing everything as merely as the garments for God. A parable that I once heard to illustrate this idea is musical notes. So if you're like me and you can't read musical notes, you look at them and what do you see? You see a bunch of squiggles over there. But what if you're a musician? Then you look at the notes, and as you're looking at the notes, you don't see notes. You actually hear music. You're looking at the notes, but you hear music. Can we look at the world and hear the music? Can we look at the world and realize everything we're seeing, these are only the external garments of God? Everything is an extension of God. God is present within everything. And if we train ourselves in that way, then the question, but I can't see God, doesn't exist. We see God in everything. We see God everywhere. And then we're able to arrive at this tremendous awe and reverence for God. In tomorrow's Tanya, we will conclude this chapter with one more concluding thought about Yiras Hashem, about the awe for God.